Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with home fragrance empties for the last week. I have quite a bit of stuff here, so I'm not going to chit chat too much, but let's jump into what I finished firstly from Scentsy. Have quite a bit of Scentsy this week. I do feel like having a melting basket with just Scentsy products is really helping me get through stuff. So I am happy about that. I'm glad that it's working. First thing that I finished off was a counter clean in vanilla mint. I love our counter cleans. It's pretty much exclusively what I use for my counters. I use these just for some general cleaning too throughout the house, depending on what the need is. I love this scent as well. It is just a very sweet mint. It's not overly minty. The vanilla really helps kind of subdue it. And it was perfect for this kind of winter to spring transition time. So now I'm more into kind of full on spring, bright, fresh products like this. But really love this one. I don't know if I have any more of it, but this scent is a constant repurchase, and just the counter cleans in general, I highly recommend. I then finished off a scent circle. This is in Here Comes the Sunflowers. This is definitely one of my Scentsy heartbreaks. It's a scent I wish they would bring back. I think it's just such a beautiful kind of musky, leaning floral. And in the scent circle, it is a powerhouse. It's one of the good fragrances in scent circles that I felt like had a lot of longevity and just smells so perfect for this time of year, so fresh, and I love the muskiness in this. Wish that would come back in a bar at some point. And then for bars, I finished off 5. First up, just a plain old vanilla bean buttercream. I love this bar. I know not that many people love it like I do, but I think this is the perfect frosting type of fragrance. Always get it in the brick, but I do have a couple of straggler bars I'm trying to melt and enjoy. That way I can kind of focus on my brick in this scent. But love vanilla bean buttercream if you're looking for just a basic vanilla type of fragrance. Petals and Peaches. This is the January scent of the month, and this is so pretty. This, do I have it right here in front of me? To my nose is a dupe, or very, very similar to the Sol de Janeiro Brazilian Crush 40. I think these are a dupe of each other. So the mist here says black amber plum and vanilla woods. And the notes on the bar are freesia, vanilla amber, and stone fruit. Very similar in my opinion. They definitely both have this kind of slightly fruity fragrance, but it's very amber heavy, very amber forward. Now this says stone fruit, which would be like a peach or something like that, and peaches is in the name, but there's no peach in this bar. I don't think that they named this bar amazingly. I think it is a little bit misleading, because when I first saw the name of this, I thought, ooh, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. I was thinking it was gonna be a floral peach, but that is not the case at all. It's very perfumey. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's a dupe, or it's extremely close to that Sol de Janeiro scent. So if you like perfumey, amber, bedroom type fragrances, you would love this. I wish it was a touch stronger though. I put this bar in this wax room, the whole bar, and I would say it was a good medium performer. So I wish the performance was a touch stronger, but I love this. And it's one that I would like to get a few more bars of before it discontinues, because it's the January scent of the month, so it will discontinue relatively soon here. So definitely one I want to pick some more of. Next is Plum and White Woods. And I have to say, this was the oldest, most discolored bar I have. I don't know if you could tell the top and then the back there. So we bought this summer, Stephanie and I bought this like Scentsy bar D-stash where the lady was selling Scentsy bars for incredibly cheap. I think they were like $2 max. Bricks were really inexpensive, but there was no pictures. Lesson learned, because most of the bars looked like this. Now, this smelled amazing. It smelled amazing, just like a brand new bar. I melted this in this room here, and I really could not tell any performance or quality differences with this bar, and so it was definitely discolored. But to me, from my recollection of melting this scent in the past, I don't feel like it affected throw at all, and so I really enjoyed this. I love Plum and White Woods. It is such a beautiful plum kind of floral scent, perfumey in quality, very appropriate for springtime. Just a bright, fresh plum. Little bit of woodsiness, but it's not an overly woodsy bar. Yeah, so looked rough, but still got great performance with that, so I'm very happy. Next, I melted a bar of Sandalwood Tangerine. So I have been thinking about this scent a lot lately because of Desert Twilight. I've mentioned this a few times, so I'll try not to harp on it too much, but I feel like Desert Twilight is a cousin to this. It's a very similar type of scent. So I was disappointed that they took out Sandalwood Tangerine just to bring a bar that's pretty similar to the catalog. I like Desert Twilight, but I like this one a lot more. So I've been thinking about it. So I was like, I need to find this bar in my collection and pull it out and melt it. This has notes of white cedar, tangerine, and sandalwood. I melted this bar in my bedroom. I'm so kicking myself for not stocking up a little bit more on this bar when I did, like when it was available, because I only have one bar of this left. And that's okay. I will pick a day where I'm home and I will enjoy it and it will be fine. But this is such a beautiful, earthy, masculine cologne type fragrance. It is so pretty. And it's a bar that's had to kind of grow on me a little bit. People were talking a lot about this bar when it kind of first came out, and I didn't feel like I was overly impressed, but I'm definitely into more masculine cologne scents now than I was even a year or two ago. And I can appreciate this bar so much more right now than when it was available. It seems like that's always the way it works. Just beautiful masculine cologne. Hopefully it comes back at some point, or it comes back in a flash sale or something and I can grab some more. But for now, I will enjoy the last bar of it that I have. And then lastly from Scentsy, one of my kind of new favorites is the Sanderson Sisters Perfectly Wicked bar. So this, even though it's very Halloween in packaging and kind of name, this is an all year round type scent. This to me is a very perfumey fragrance. Reminds me a lot of Tom Ford Lost Cherry. It is that cherry perfume fragrance. So for me, this is a bedroom scent that I will use all year round. Melting this in my bedroom currently. It is gorgeous. It's on day 2, and it's just like you're walking into a beautiful perfumery where they just sprayed Lost Cherry throughout the air. Love it so much. This is one of the licensed bars that I would pay $7 for. I think it's worth $7. This one always is a banger for me performance-wise. I've only had it in for a day at the moment, but the last bar of this I've melted, I want to say it went in my warmers for like 4 or 5 days before I changed it. It's just one of those fragrances that keeps hanging on, and I love that. I love being able to put a bar into my warmers and leaving it for a day or two, or in some cases, many days. I really do enjoy that, because as much as I love home fragrance, I don't love changing wax. That part of home fragrance and this kind of wax addiction that we have is not my favorite part of it. So if I can leave a scent in that I'm really loving and is performing well, love that. So definitely one that I would pick up again. I did grab quite a few of them in a flash sale. I think 4 or 5 of them when they were offered in a flash sale recently. So I'm definitely well stocked up. But that is it for Scentsy. So if you were just here for Scentsy, thank you so much for watching. We will next get into vendor wax. I have a lot of just kind of one-offs this week, it looks like. So we'll start with the vendors that I only have one item from. From Super Tarts, I finished off a brick, which is like her naked clamshells, in Scottish Fog. This is a scent that I'd heard a lot about, and I knew it was a favorite of many people, but I had never tried it. So she offered this in an RTS within the last 6 months or so, and I snagged it to try. This is Green Tweed, Blue Lagoon Water, Fresh Ozone Greens, and Peppermint. Man, her writing is, it's on a very dark background and it's tiny. Green Tweed, Blue Lagoon Water, Fresh Ozone, Greens, and Peppermint. This was a powerhouse scent. So I split this between this wax room and my bedroom, and I think I left this in for like 3 days. Powerhouse. This very much reminds me of a soap, like a men's bar soap. I don't know if it is supposed to be kind of a dupe for something like that, but this was a very soapy, spa-like, aquatic, clean type of fragrance. I enjoyed it. I'm glad that I tried it and I liked it when it was worming, but it wasn't one that stuck out to me as me like having to get more of it. But I'm glad to kind of know what it's about. It's a pretty clean, fresh soap type scent. From Salt Mountain Melts, finished off a souffle in Circus Animal Stuffed Sugar Cookie. So this is one that I never would have bought or wasn't interested in buying it because it's got this like cherry note to it. And it's confusing to me because nowhere in the name, nowhere in the notes does it say anything about cherry. But from watching her Facebook and seeing people comment and talk about this scent, I knew that there was cherry in it. So I always kind of avoided it. Well, I bought one of her mystery bundles that she kind of does RTS sometimes. If she, you know, after a few pre-orders, if she has a couple of extra, she makes little mystery pouches. And those have been great because I've tried a lot of stuff from there that I probably wouldn't have picked up from her, or just scents that I wasn't familiar with in general. And so I got this in one of those. I think I've bought 2 from her over the years. So this one has notes of circus animal cookies, sugar cookie dough, and frosted sugar cookies. This was nice. It was pretty. I put this souffle in my open concept. And it's very much a kind of cherry leaning bakery scent. The cherry is not overwhelming by any means. The sugar cookie, those other bakery, like vanilla bakery notes, definitely stand out more than the cherry. But you get the cherry. It's not medicinal in any way. It was a pretty scent. I liked it. I don't quite understand the hype of it, but it is a very pretty kind of, you know, cherry forward bakery. Nothing I feel like I need to get more of, but especially since it's a popular scent, I'm glad that I've tried it, and you never know. Sometimes that's how you find new favorites. One from Teddy Bees, only one from Teddy Bees this week. I melted Oracle of Dusk. This was just a souffle. This is black raspberry, bergamot, velvet rose, midnight jasmine, patchouli, and precious woods. To me, this one is very similar to Dark Kiss from Bath & Body Works. If you guys remember Dark Kiss, if you're like an OG Bath & Body Works lover, and even now, I think people still love Dark Kiss. It was a great fragrance, and this really, really reminds me of it. Now, I don't have any Dark Kiss to compare it directly to, but it seems so similar. It's a very deep, you get the black raspberry, you're getting this woody note. There's something kind of peppery about this, maybe the patchouli. It's gorgeous. Put this one in my open concept. Very body care type of fragrance through all day. Strong performer. You know, I'm really grateful and happy that I can do a souffle from Teddy Bees in my open concept. I cut the souffle into 8 pieces, I cut it in half first, and then I cut each half into 4. And I'll put 4 in my kitchen and 4 in my living room. And unless it's just a really light performer, that does wonderful for me. So this was strong. I really enjoyed it. I actually melted this on a work day. And when I melt on work days, which is every day, but I try not to melt Teddy Bees on work days because I can't put anything into my warmers until like 4 o'clock, you know? So I feel like I miss out on some of the scent because I'm not home the whole day to enjoy it. So after I had stuck this in the warmers and it was going for a couple hours, I was kind of kicking myself that I like wasted it on a work day because it was so beautiful and I wanted to smell it longer. So I don't know, but if I'm going to get through my Teddy Bees, I have to warm it, not just on the weekends, but that's hard to do. From L3 Waxy Wonders, and you guys, I don't think I've had an L3 Empties in months. I mean months, probably close to a year. I like her wax a lot. There's nothing, I don't think against her wax, but she's not one of my top vendors. And so I think I tend to not pull from her shop as much. Plus with the way I have my wax stored, it's kind of in a different location a little bit. So her wax is a little bit more kind of out of sight, out of mind. But I kind of thought about that the other day. I'm like, you haven't melted L3 in a long time. Like, you need to melt your L3. I have so many scents from her I love. So I went through my collection and kind of pulled out some scents that I thought could be appropriate for this time of year or just any time of year, really. And I grabbed this bakery bag. This is 8 Crazy Nights. So I was on the customs list right when she announced that she was closing, and I had gotten called up, and so I was like, perfect. I will do customs of some of my favorite scents. I'll be stocked up, and then I'll be good to go. And obviously she's not closed now, but I'm still glad that I got the customs that I did in some of my favorite scents from her. So 8 Crazy Nights is blackberry jelly, fried donut, and campfire smoke. This is the most beautiful jelly donut. And that description, I don't think would have necessarily intrigued me. But I tried this one time, the first time I ever tried it, because it had been sitting on her site. I felt like every time I went to her site, 8 Crazy Nights was on there. And I kind of was like, does this scent really stink? Like, why is 8 Crazy Nights just lingering on her site for so long? So the one time I made an order, I threw it in my cart to try and absolutely fell in love with it. This is a beautiful, sweet bakery scent. The jelly is not artificial smelling in any way. You kind of just get this sweet blackberry scent. You get this nice kind of crispy fried donut. Campfire smoke, not really. Maybe there's hints of it, but I'm really getting that jelly donut. If you want just a classic bakery scent, if you like a little bit of sweetness, 8 Crazy Nights was amazing. And there was quite a bit of wax in here. I ended up doing this, I think 3 times in my open concept before I finished this off, but no complaints on it because it's a beautiful scent. Okay, and then the last vendor that I just have one from is Second and Spruce. This was a clam in Shower in the Rain. So this was one that I picked up, I guess, from her last pre-order. Yeah, this was just for November of 2024. And I'm sorry, not the March pre-order, the previous pre-order. Summer was talking about this one and how she melted it and she loved it and felt like it gave her similar vibes to Dark Harbor from Scentsy. That was one of the Bring Back My Bars, maybe over last summer, I guess it was. And I was like, well, I have it. You know, obviously I want to melt it this spring. It's definitely kind of a spring leaning scent in the name and in the notes. So I was like, let me pull it out and melt it. This is so freaking pretty. This is amazing. So used just the clamshell, did 3 in my kitchen, 3 in my living room. This was a 10 out of 10 on strength. Powerhouse performer. I wish she was doing clamshells for that most recent opening she did because I love her clamshells so very much. They're a small amount. You don't have to chop. They're perfect for my living room or my bedroom. Like I could take this clam and split it between the bedrooms, or take this clam and kind of split it in the open concept space. But in any case, she's not. But the notes for this one are rain, bergamot, cedarwood, and a hint of sweet florals. This is just a very fresh kind of aquatic men's cologne is what I get from this. Very men's cologne forward. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. The house just smelled so fresh, and it literally smelled like the shower was going. And you know, right when you turn the shower off and the room is steamy, I felt like I got that kind of steam from this scent. Gorgeous. Absolutely would get that again next time she offers it. Okay, then I've got a pile here from Kay's. This is actually just a bunch of samples that she sent in my most recent order. So I did her 25% off sale order. I'll link that above if you guys want to check out what I got. And she gave me quite a few samples. And so the one day I felt like enough of them went together. I did some mixing and matching in this room and in my bedroom. So in this wax room here, I did a mix of French toast with honey apple champagne. So the honey apple champagne is very much your kind of honey apple Bath and Body Works type sweet apple scent. Really, really love this one and would definitely pick this up again on its own probably, and for kind of early fall time. French toast was not my favorite. It wasn't my favorite ever on cold. It definitely smells like French toast. I'm getting a lot of maple notes from this, like a syrup note, and I'm not a huge maple fan. I do think these blended nicely together, but the French toast was just a little too mapley heavy for me. And then in my bedroom, I did a combination of the Red Sea, Vanilla Valentine, and Madagascar Vanilla. This was a great combination. I will say the Vanilla Valentine, I really couldn't tell too much of. Even on cold, this was a very light vanilla scent. The Red Sea, this is a customer creation. This is sea salt, eucalyptus, plum, dark musk, and cherry. This gives me cherry perfume vibes, kind of like cherry smoke from Tom Ford or something along those lines. This was gorgeous. Really, really loved this. And I loved it mixed with the vanilla. The vanilla that definitely stood out to me was the Madagascar Vanilla. I would buy this one on its own. It's such a nice perfumey vanilla scent, and it's strong. I could pick up this vanilla in particular in this kind of little concoction that I did, and it didn't overtake any of the notes that was in the Red Sea here. Just made it a really pretty kind of perfumey bedroom fragrance. So happy to have these melted, and I appreciate Carla always being so generous in the samples and just how many she sent me. I probably got like 10 samples. It was quite a lot. All right, and then lastly, I've got 3 small bags from Lavender and Speckles. So this past weekend, I melted Mountain Espresso for the first time. Now, if you've been here for a while, you know that coffee is maybe not my favorite of the scents, but I'm trying coffee here and there. It's definitely something that I can appreciate on a Sunday morning, and that's when I melted this. Normally I do Teddy Bees on the weekend, but I was like, I can't come home from work one day and put in a coffee scent. It just doesn't feel right. And so I melted this on Sunday. This says it is citrus, cinnamon, blue sage, amber, tonka, cedarwood, and espresso. So the coffee in this is very, very strong. But what I really get from this too, it almost smells like coffee blended with barbershop. Not the same notes that's in her barbershop blend, but there's something very masculine about this fragrance. I really get like masculine cologne and the coffee. Really, really pretty. I liked this one a lot. Now, is it one that I'm going to be begging her to bring back, requesting? No. But if it was offered, again, which, I mean, it will be, I would pick up another bag or like a small amount, a clamshell, things like that, because I did really enjoy it on a Sunday. This was a powerhouse. This threw for the whole day, and it just gave me a nice coffee, but kind of a different take on coffee. I liked the masculine notes that were in this. I do have another coffee from her. I've got the Matt's Breakfast Blend, so I'm letting that cure a little bit, even though that's a super strong scent. I'm sure I could pop that in the warmer right now, but that will be the next coffee from her that I try. Then I melted G's PB&J. I have to say, this is probably my favorite PB&J scent of any vendor. It is different than kind of the Bath & Body Works type. I feel like a lot of vendors have that Bath & Body Works type of PB&J, and this one's a little bit different. It's similar, but I feel like this one is sweeter. Peanut butter cookies, raspberry jam, sweet blackberries, marshmallow fluff, fresh baked bread, and a hint of funnel cake. Oh, this is so pretty. You get the bread, you get that kind of floral leaning, perfumey leaning raspberry. You get this almost like honey note. There's no honey in the notes here, but there's something incredibly sweet about this scent. It makes me think of a fresh baked bread. You've got your peanut butter. You get a little bit of the nuttiness from there. You've got your very, very sweet raspberry jam, and you've drizzled honey on top. I don't know what it is about this scent. It's just so, so good. And it is a really great performer. I've gone through many bags of this. I don't think I have any more. So next time it's offered, I will definitely be picking up another one of that. And then lastly, I melted Vanilla Surf. So this one is creamy vanilla, toasted marshmallow, driftwood, and sea salt. Oh, I loved this. So I recently just did a Scentsy dupe video. I hope you guys check that out if you're interested in hearing some comparisons to scents that I've just been kind of making as I'm going through my melting journey here. And this one is very similar to Vanilla Waves from Scentsy. My one thought on the difference with this one is that it had that driftwood note that I felt like stood out a little bit more than Vanilla Waves. I don't think Vanilla Waves has a driftwood note. But when I warmed this, I feel like I didn't get near as much driftwood on warm as I did in the bag. And honestly, melting wise on warm, smelling them side by side, I don't know if I could tell a difference. Now, I am not a Vanilla Waves connoisseur. I am not the expert in Vanilla Waves, but this was darn close. Really, really close. I melted 3 pieces of this in this wax room and 3 in my bedroom, and I left this in for 2 days. And I probably could have left this in a little bit longer, but it was starting to kind of die to a strength I wasn't, I wanted it to be a little bit stronger. But I am noticing a lot of my Lavender and Speckles, if I leave it alone, it'll go for at least 2 days. And that's hard to say for most vendor wax. There's not a ton of vendor wax that I get more than just the day from. But a lot of times, Lavender and Speckles for me will go for multiple days if I let it, especially in these back bedrooms and smaller spaces. So really been enjoying that. Definitely need to get more of the Vanilla Surf for sure. Okay, that is it. Those are my empties for the last week and what I have been warming. I would love to know what you guys have been warming this week. Has anything stood out to you? Any favorites of your week? Always would love to know what you guys are melting. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next one. Bye.